Okay, no worries. No worries.
Somebody's like, I saw you on banddirector.com. You said blah, blah, blah. Like, did you really mean that?
Okay. So we're good? Good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we are here with Kevin Sedatole, who has been working with the Springford High School Band on the Coleman Metamorphosis on an Original Cakewalk. Interesting piece, a lot going on that piece, and I'm glad that you referred to the Robert Russell Bennett. And I appreciate it for the audience because I mentioned it earlier, and I think I merged the two pieces, so I think I called it something like Suite of Symphonic Songs and Old American Dances. I'm not sure what came out.
That's the other piece. There is a symphonic song.
I know. I've played them both. I think I put them together into one, so we'll take that out and post edit. But anyway, so you spent a lot of time with them, getting them to listen around in the ensemble and hear everything that's going on. So maybe tell us about a little what's been happening there.
With a piece like that, it's all about the style and maintaining the style within a really strict rhythmic pulse. And what I sensed was that they're pulling apart because their internal rhythm doesn't seem that strong to me. So that's why I had them kind of vocalize just the beat. And that way it helps give them a target that's not a metronome.
Right.
The can even shift a little bit because that's what we do.
Right.
But it also can, I don't know if you heard me say that it's helped them define the length of note. When the clarinets are playing much longer, like match what's going on behind you, and all of a sudden it gave them something to listen to. So it's, I just sensed that they needed a little bit of internal help, and it's a very good band. That's a very, very challenging work because of the style, but they're well on their way.
Right.
And just helping them identify better balances. Sometimes it can just sound loud. We're going to get to a section here in a second where it's all 2D writing, so we've got to make some decisions because if you want to, you got to prioritize what you want to hear. Yes. It can't just be all loud because then it just sounds like white noise, you know.
Right.
So you have to define that a little bit better, and that will be some depending on how their director decides to do it. It may just make the decision on his own, or talk about it with the band. Like, okay, where's our priority? What do we want to hear? What's important? Kind of like what I did with, which one's important, the whole note line or the quarter note line? Right. Well, that was a no-brainer, but except for the tubas probably said the whole note line. But it's, but anyway, it's just, it's just teaching.
Right.
And
well, so much of it is getting them to understand, since they don't have the full score in front of them, they don't necessarily know where the important parts are.
No question about it.
I know John Casagrande worked with them a little bit on that too, on the piece that he was rehearsing, same types of things and same type of comments.
Something I'm going to suggest to Seth is that he project the score up in front of him if he has some way to do that. So we do this quite a bit at Michigan State, where the score goes up so the students can see.
You get that visual.
Yeah, absolutely, and then you can turn around. I was just one of my associates told me about a program. I think it's Fourscore. I know about this program, but you can actually mark it, circle things on the iPad or whatever you're using.
I've seen that. Yes,
so you can
brilliant.
So and then it can all go away. But so students can really see, because what I've noticed, if they can see the score and see what's going on, then it's much clearer than somebody just telling them about it. So.
Well, I mean, so many of them are visual learners as well as being auditory learners. So this helps do that. So what's next in there now? What's your next game of or attack plan? I guess maybe.
We're getting ready. We're getting ready to go into the metamorphosis part of the piece where it pulls. He starts mixing his own voices and kind of gums things up, if you will.
Yeah.
The real cakewalk comes back at the end. But I just want to hear. I need to hear them play it again. Actually, it's been a while since I've been around that piece, and I just want to hear and see what they're doing, and see if I can make some suggestions about things that should be highlighted. Other things. It's again balance and blend issues.
Right.
And then once we get done with that, Seth is gonna play they're gonna do the Sousa March for me.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna give them comments and see if I can just rev up some musical things for them.
Sounds great. There was one other thing that you said that I thought was wonderful, where you said to them, every day has to be better. And that kind of ties nicely into what our roundtable discussion that we're going to have a little later is about rehearsal planning, both in the short-term individual rehearsal and in the long-term arc of preparing it. I thought it was interesting when you asked the kids, kids, how long until you perform at state conference, and they instantly
Yeah.
had 56 days. So
Yeah.
they have a very finite goal there.
Yeah, I think that they know probably the long range goal, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure they know the short range goal.
Right.
And that's what that. I mean, that obviously that's one of the reasons why they come to something like this
Mm-hmm.
is to better define it for them. But I'm going to talk to them a little bit about that at the end in terms of how that preparation needs to happen for specifically for something like that.
Right.
So,
Well, and we'll be talking with all of the conductors, all of you, and the band's leaders as well, and that'll be part of that we'll have later on this afternoon. So be sure to tune in for that because it'll be a tremendous discussion. So let's let you get back into the hall and
Okay.
keep working with the group.
all right. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.